mir sagen, dass ich wählen muss? Ich kann nicht wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Halt's Maul.
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Komm, ich schick sie beide weg. Ich schick beide Kinder weg.
Nein,
Ja doch, du musst
zwingen
wählen.
Sie mich nicht zu wählen.
Komm,
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Und die Maul halt. Hör auf jetzt. Du sollst das Maul halten.
Nein,
Los, entscheide dich, wähle.
nein, zwingen Sie mich nicht zu wählen. Ich kann
schick
nicht
sie.
wählen.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Week 6 recap of Season 2, 2025 of the YoMo, COMMISTRO, and the Bad Guys show. I'm sure he's in a good mood today. Commish, where you at? You out there somewhere? Let's get this thing started. Okay? I'm sure we'll get an explanation for that.
Look how jacked I am.
I'm very happy for you.
Another week,
I like
Marcus.
the outfit. I'm a little bit surprised it's not Michigan or or Phillies related, Eagles or Phillies related. But
I got no love for any of those guys right now, brother. They're a bunch of losers.
Yeah, I wish you guys would have made a shot. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't like to see Seattle win. I'd like to see Toronto win, but it's a different mindset now. And anyhow, looks like it's going to be the Dodgers all over again. Although I'm still holding out hope for the Brewers.
Yeah, well, I probably won't watch any of it because the Phillies are out of it, and that's the way I work. So,
spoken like a true baseball fan.
Yeah. So you think anybody's upset we missed last week?
And nobody watches anyway.
Exactly.
You know what? Call it a bye week. Take 2.
We did.
We took a bye. Season. Those clowns do it in the NFL. Take a bye week whenever you want.
We had an early Week 5 bye. We had one of the early ones this year.
Yeah, I'm taking a different approach this week.
Okay.
Because rage has gotten me nowhere with my roster. I haven't won in a month, which I'm sure is going to come up at some point in time. But I'm trying a Zen approach today. We're going to do the hand thing and just going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to focus and channel positive energy to my roster this week because the rage and kicking them up the ass isn't working.
I think both people who watch this pretty know that that's not you. That's not you.
We'll see how long it lasts, but I'm going to try it. It may catch on if I win this week and pull the upset on Aaron. It may turn into a thing. I may start coming here in like a guru garb if I can win 2 games in a row.
Yeah. I know where you can get some of it.
I'll shave the head. I'll shave my head for a championship. Are you kidding me? And anyhow,
I know where you
I'm
can
sorry.
Get some
I digress.
Guru garb.
Yeah, this is your point in the show, so I'm gonna let you do your thing and stop talking now.
All righty, here we go with the Week 6 Your Mom Awards. And it's just like you said, Marcus, it's been rough. It's been really rough for the bad guy. You just lost to me, and my team's pretty weak. You're 2-4. You're last in the division, your division.
Yeah.
A rookie quarterback has now infected your roster with CAMVID-19. And the third best Mixon is still on IR. And you know what else? You can't figure out how to keep a Facebook profile picture active for more than 1 day. What is with that?
I don't know. I go back and forth on it, but the reality is I don't know how to maneuver that thing that well, and I don't think I did it right and whatever. But anyhow, I'm done with it for a while.
Well, I feel bad for you a little bit. And we usually save this for later in the show. But with all the bad luck you're running into this season, I'm going to start the week with a little something to cheer you up.
Was there a wee pee-pee?
Aaron has been dismissed from the league.
What?
Just kidding. It's the wee pee-pee!
Oh,
This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee.
Aaron didn't get the wee pee-pee, did he?
No.
Thank goodness. Okay, I can enjoy it now.
He knows he didn't get that either. So, for other reasons, but not for this week's, and whoever forgets, the Wee Pee-Pee is the weekly parlay players of the week, which means 3 players on your roster with over 30 points Maybe Steve McFadden's watching this one and he can finally figure out what a wee pee-pee is other than his pants. For the first one this season, we actually have a bit of an anomaly, Marcus.
Really?
We've got 2 wee pee-pee.
Who wee peepees?
Yes.
That's a lot of wee peepees.
Yeah, it is a lot of wee pee-pees. Not for some people in this league, but that is your faithful commish had barely enough for a wee pee-pee this week. But I got Cam Crayon Eater Scataboo started my week with 30. A Chain popped me another 30 on Sunday. And then finishing out the week, the last game on Monday night, Jaden Daniels got me 31 for the first wee pee-pee of the week.
You realize that
season.
if I had started Goddard, and or even if Murray didn't get hurt, or if I had started Goddard, whatever the hell you pronounce, however you pronounce his name, you could have had a wee pee and lost.
And still lost, yep.
And still lost. So
I thought I was going to lose with just two 30-point running backs. I thought I was going to lose. Unreal. Anyways,
yeah, well.
And of course, like anything I do in this league, I got outdone once again, this time by the coolest guy in the league, because Rob, you also grabbed your wee pee-pee this week. Dak had 31. Jan had 36 as the Falcons rolled over the Bills. And Drake May had 36.
He's a thing.
Drake May had 36. Who saw that coming when they drafted him? I didn't, because I didn't draft him.
Obviously,
there was one close one, but he just couldn't grab the wee pee-pee. And we will not speak of his name because he didn't get the wee pee-pee, but he knows who he is.
All right, then.
So, anyways, once we got that out of the way,
congratulations. We
are going to turn to usually the first award of the week, but we all know who it is, the GM of the week. And I'm not going to psych y'all out this week, all right? I'm just going to get straight to the point. This guy has had an amazing turnaround from last season. You know, every now and then I get a little bit lonely doing this job. I put so much work into the draft. But during the regular season, you're never coming around. Doing this, my business, running softball, every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of you guys complaining. And every now and then I get a little bit nervous that best of all years have gone by. You know, every now and then I get a little bit terrified, honestly, and then I hear roasts, lookalikes, or just a quick-witted one-liner from this guy, and I fall apart. Laughing. There's nothing I can do. It's the GM of the week for our favorite Nixon, Justin.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Hard-fought win. 141-126 over Jake. Gives him an impressive 5-1 to start the season. A 5-1 record for a Mixon. Who would have thought it? And might I add, his team almost came up with wee pee-pee himself, but he was powered by 39 from Mahomes, 31 from Josh Jacobs, and just missed with a 27, albeit on the bench, but Sam Darnold got a 27, and bench players still count towards the wee pee-pee. So his pee was almost wee this week. Hey, side note though, speaking of funny Justin humor, Bryn, you'll probably get a kick out of this one. So, last season playing in our softball tournament, and anybody who doesn't play softball probably doesn't care, but this is pretty funny. Justin's in left field, I'm in right center field. We're playing a team of pretty much all Hispanics. It's pretty much all Puerto Ricans or Dominicans whatever they were. Yeah, all of them. They never spoke English. Even when they were playing the game, they were all speaking in code. And then all of a sudden you hear, I forget who was pitching, and it might have been Aaron, it might have been Ben. I don't remember who was pitching. Anyways, they throw the ball too high, and the umpire calls illegal. Out of nowhere, Justin in left field goes, he means the pitch, right? Lost it. One of the right up there with Justin's funny softball jokes right after telling the umpire he didn't wash his hands after he came back from the bathroom. Anyway.
And I need you now tonight. I fucking need you more than ever.
This is not a nationally syndicated show because we wouldn't be anymore.
Justin's ice jokes. I thought Naren would appreciate that.
Yep. All right, this one one's Calacurita. Calacari? Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. I am Officer Lowry. This is Officer Burnett. All right. All right. I'm going to read you your rights. Okay. You'll be detained.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the Me Award, the JPS's COMMISTRO biggest disappointment. And I want to say you again, Marcus, but
already with
well, because typically you're not in these situations.
I know,
but because I beat you, I'm not going to give it to you. No. I'm not going to give it to you. We all know this guy's life is a constant disappointment. And I know what you guys are thinking. And leave Barry alone. I'm talking about a guy we all get disappointed in constantly because he's just him. Aaron had a chance to take down the undefeated New Delhi Dalai Lamist, but he couldn't pull it off, much like your earring, Marcus. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I'm still wearing them. I still got them on, you know. It's all my fault, you know. I've always been a fashion-forward kind of guy. So, you know, get over
seriously.
That.
I'm just kidding. But seriously.
It was even a bigger disappointment because M. Night Naren only scored 103 points, yet Aaron, who only had one loss at the time, his matchup could barely squeak out 90. What?
Wait, you mean to tell me he won that game with 103 points?
103 to 93. Yeah. Aaron barely got 90. And you know what? Puka getting hurt sucks. I get it.
Yeah.
And any quarterback you play for the Jets sucks. But you had the chance, Aaron, but you looked Slurpee Sal in the eyes and you blinked. But get this little nugget stat that nobody cares about. Dating back to week 8 of last season, Thank You Come Again Kalakari is 14-2.
Jeez. Man.
Justin, this week, you are our best hope.
Yeah. But you know what? Now I can't because, you know, Calcutta Carl or whatever the hell his name is, he's not in my division. So I'd rather he win. And if I could pull an upset on Aaron, then maybe that puts me a little bit closer to first. So I'm actually rooting for Slumdog this week.
Nah, whatever. But as disappointing as Aaron was last week, he still isn't this guy who earned the biggest blowout, losing by 68 points this week.
Damn, that's ass whipping.
Jeff.
Look, I'm so drunk, I feel retarded. I'm fucking deep. I know I shouldn't use that word, but that's how I feel right now, man.
Much, huh?
He's still trying to figure out how to rebuild and resurrect a roster that was left for dead on draft night.
Well, it serves him right for trading me that guy who needed to leave in a wheelchair out of the country on Sunday morning. I'm not you know what? I'm not feeling any sympathy for him. You know, and he trades me that guy. He shouldn't even be classified as a quarterback, Cam, whatever the hell his name is. He's terrible. I don't know what I was thinking. And, you know, he pulls you in, you know, with you can hear the marbly voice and you see the cloud of smoke over his head. Next thing you know, you're making dumb trades with him. I think I'm going to block him. I'm not talking to him no more. Because somehow I'm getting a contact and I'm doing stupid moves.
Whatever. That was fun. That was funny. Your team now has the CAMVID-19. I got it to start the season, and then he's been passed around more than your mom at a fraternity party.
I got my guys working on a vaccine for it because I need him to do something if little short Kyler Murray can't get his ass back on the field.
Well, he almost was outdone by the Chong to his Cheech because Big Bear lost by 65 to the old Flippity.
Docked.
Both of them didn't score 100 points, and that's the one thing they had in common with Aaron this week. Speaking of Aaron, the APB Club Award, the Aaron's Philadelphia Dallas Buyers Club Award for the sickly slim, but still trying to eat, slimmest win of the week. And you know what? This one I kind of feel bad for. Poor Hank. He had a really decent week. He did. But of course, he gets the matchup of the coolest guy in the league who always has great teams but can't seem to win the big one, but he's still super cool. And he was able to walk away with a 9-point win. Not the sickly slimmest award, but the slimmest this week. 9 points.
Okay.
Rob
Congratulations,
over
Rob.
the Hank. And for the J&B highest points of the week, and soon to be the 2025 Your Mom Champion of the World, which would tie him with Aaron for the only 3-time championship in Your Mom. You knew him as Computer Drafter, the Flip Flops, with 167 points this week. Congrats to the Flippity Flop. He woke up off the boardwalk last year, Marcus. He tried to figure something out this year.
Yeah, he always pretty much drafts well. The guy's, he's solid at what he does. He is what he is. With the flip flops. I don't like looking at his toes once a year, but
He
he does a
didn't
good
wear them
job.
this year. He didn't wear them this year.
That's right. That's right. No one. Maybe that's why my team sucks.
And now it's Steve's fault for not wearing flip flops.
God damn it, Steve.
Well, we're gonna move on to the next award, which is the old man. I gotta rechange the name again. I didn't realize this because Flacco is starting again. Who else got benched? Whoever it is, it's the guy who got benched. Bench of the week.
Oh,
On the bench this week, there were 69 points. Was the most on the bench for this guy that we do not speak of. So I'm going to go on a different route this week because this was actually a super low points on the bench week as well, which I am now renaming the Charlie Orndorff super low point bench of the week.
need to leave that guy alone.
Commissioner only had 4 points on his bench. That's crazy. 4 points.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
How's that
only
even
4
possible?
points on the bench. What? 2 guys with 2 points. That was it. Well,
Wow.
it was. I had a bye for one.
Did you have a lot of people on the bye? Yeah.
I had a bye for one. Everybody else was out or on IR.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. Okay.
And
get it.
This next one was a bit difficult for me today once I started writing because it's overachiever of the week. And after looking at all the scores from last week, did anyone really overachieve? There were some underachievers for sure, but I mean, Sheldon dropped 155 on the forehead of Jeff after crying and peeing and leaving the group and then brought back in the group and then left the group again and then got brought back in the group again, only to realize that it really wasn't that big of a deal. He still has a really good team. He scores a lot of points. And, I mean, I did beat you with my wee pee, but can we call that overachieving?
Nah, I don't think so. Maybe.
Emoji. But maybe Sheldon, maybe we can give it to Sheldon since last week he technically would have had the G, but we didn't shoot it. But he had Rico Dowdle pick up last week. And then this week he had 2 weeks in a row with 30 burgers. So even though it was a pickup last week and he scored 30 this week, it's a pretty good G-pop. Now, he did have Jacoby Brissett, which was a great pickup too, who had 28 this week, but he didn't play him. So he's just a G-pop. Justin was close with that Kendrick Bourne guy who catches the balls. He did pretty well, and he picked him up this week, but it just wasn't enough to diddle the dowdles.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed because I see Dowdle scoring all those points, and I see those are mine. because
Man.
of Hubbard's calf. Those are my points. I should get some of that. But you know me, I'm not one for litigation.
That you
So
are.
we can just move on.
But you are. So actually, that's all I have for the awards this week. I don't think I missed anything. But what I do have this week is I have the power.
I was hoping you'd skip another week, man.
Rankings. Well, I said after week 4, then I said after week 5. Then we didn't shoot week 5. So might as well do it after week 6. I think we're in a good space right now. And
Okay.
I mean, we understand it's the top 12 in the league. And we already know Jeff and Barry are at the bottom. Jeff's 12, Barry's 11. I'm going to shake it up a little bit, give you guys a couple that maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. But we're going to go down to Rob at 6, Hank at 7, and Jake at 8. Then coming in at number 10, right ahead of Barry, is the bad guy, Marcus
Terrible.
Vegas.
I know it sucks. It is what it is. Okay, I get
It's
it.
tough. And
I'm gonna move up. I got time. I told you I got faith in my guys now. It's okay.
but hey,
We've seen.
before I get to the top 5, I'm going to tell you who number 9 is right after you, and it's Commish. Commish is ranked number 9. Yes, I have a 4-2 record, but I still hate my team. I still hate my quarterbacks, and I got a ton of guys hurt now. So 9, I think, is a good place for me. Jake could probably beat me. Hank could probably beat me. Rob's definitely going to beat me. And now we get into the top 5, who will all beat me once we get to that point. And I want to start with number 3, I think. So number 3 this week in the top 3 is young Sheldon. I think his team is
Okay.
I think his team's fairly strong. Controversial by maybe some of the people around him, but after looking at total points and his roster, barring any more injuries, I think young Sheldon has the 3rd best team in the league. Now, top 5 comes in with Aaron.
Yeah, I get that.
I think Aaron separated himself from Rob in the top 5. I still think Rob has a chance to beat him, but as of Aaron's team right now, I think that he's a strong 4-2. I don't think he's a champion 4-2, but I think he's a top 5 4-2. Number 4 is our GM of the week this week, Ice. I brought Justin to number 4. I know he only has 1 loss, so it's controversial that he's behind young Sheldon. But if you kind of take a look at who he's played, how much he's won by, and his roster, the 1 is kind of an anomaly because he hasn't really scored that many points for the whole season. So he comes in at number 4. Then we got the top 2. And I know what you all are thinking. So I'm just going to go right ahead and give you number 1, and then you can figure out who number 2 is, because we don't say his name, but number 1 this week in the Your Mom, I Have the Power rankings is Steve McFadden.
Ooh. Okay.
Controversial.
Interesting.
But that's how we do things here at YoMo.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I buy it. It's hard. You have to look at a lot of things, and sometimes the record just isn't an accurate reflection enough, unless it's my case, because But okay, I get it. Nice. All right.
That's it for me this week. That's it. That's all I got as far as the awards. I don't think I missed anything, but I'm done.
Look,
And
guys, like and subscribe, and look at the YouTube enhanced version.
Like,
After
subscribe,
this show.
and get ready for the rants of the
All right, I got a few things this week, and I got one thing at the end that I added. Well, we ad-lib pretty much 97% of this show, so we'll just ad-lib that as well. First thing I got for you, what's your take on this Bad Bunny thing in the end, the Super Bowl halftime show? You got an opinion on it? Do you not? Do you? When this guy, I had to ask my daughter a year ago, is this guy famous? Is he that much of a big deal? Is he, because I'm kind of out of touch with the popularity of groups nowadays. But he's obviously a thing. I mean, I think the guy was big already, but it's a pretty big deal, I think. You got any thoughts on it?
I don't really have an opinion on it because I never watched the halftime show anyway. But
Yeah, that's true.
the only thing I knew about Bad Bunny was that he was Happy Gilmore's caddy in the second Happy Gilmore. I didn't know who he was when he came out. I thought he was funny. I thought he was funny in the movie. Somebody had to tell me who he was, and I was like, I had no idea he was some famous rapper. I just thought he was funny dude in the show. So I don't know. Obviously the NFL is woke, right? And
absolutely, yes.
and
But,
they are. Roger Goodell's trying to make a point, and
that he can do whatever he
nobody
wants.
that watches the NFL, or let me say, the large majority of people who watch the NFL are guys, and I would say a large majority of those guys are F-150 Silverado, Bud Light, Miller Light, Busch Light drinking guys who
absolutely
do not care. And the uproar is more on one side and the other side. I think the people who care about the game and the sport could care less and not making opinions about it. So whoever it is, I ain't watching it anyway. I'm going outside, grabbing some more food. I don't know, whatever. I'm not. Do people watch it anymore?
I don't. And I think you're right. I mean, it actually is what they put in place for the people that really aren't interested in the game anyway, because more often than not, most folks that are interested in the game, you know what? It's so maybe it's so that the significant others don't mind, making extra food or cleaning up during the halftime show, so they have something to watch. I don't know, but
so are you saying that only Hispanic people can clean up and make food?
Oh, that's not me.
Is that what you're saying?
Roger Goodell is saying that. I'm not
saying that. I see what
Roger
you're saying.
Goodell is saying
So
that. I mean, I'm Hispanic.
He's the true racism, not you.
He's the true racist guy. I just, when I stop and I think about it from the entertainment perspective, okay, maybe it's interesting. I don't know. I'll be like you. I probably would watch it anyway. But I don't know. It's just too much stuff where you just get away from what you are too much. I thought the show was a nice gimmick. I think it's an American game. And I get that they want to appeal to, they want an international appeal. But I got to tell you, the people in Mexico will go to a game. They're not giving up a Sunday afternoon to watch the NFL. They may watch Bad Bunny that night. You're not appealing. Certain fan bases, you're just not going to appeal to, man.
I mean, who was the guy that did it last year? Was it Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah, I think so.
He's saying in English, and I didn't understand a word he said. So
yeah, I get.
It's like if Naren did this podcast, we'd have to put captions at the bottom so people knew what was being said.
I don't know. I get a little bit disenchanted with when I see the NFL straying too far away from what they are, and it is what it is. It's because they're obviously just too woke, and who cares?
The NFL has a problem with its audience. I think that much like much of government, I think that the audience, I think that the NFL is out of touch with their base audience. I do.
Absolutely.
This is part of it, but then you've got, and goes for all pro sports and college sports too, but officials are way too much a part of games nowadays. Whether they're getting it right or getting it wrong, it's way too much. Calls that should be called that aren't getting called, calls that shouldn't be called are getting called, and they're getting too much limelight. And I don't know if how much they're getting paid or what that goes. But that's another problem that the NFL has, is the officials are in too far in the way. The rules are way out of whack with how things work. The taunting penalty is ridiculous. Yet every person, no matter if you're down by 30, can catch a ball for a first down and do this. And that's not taunting. But if you knock a ball down and with the receiver and you get up and step over top of him without saying a word, that's taunting, right? It's absolutely, it's insane. And I think I don't want to say they're losing their base, because it's still the most popular sport in America, but they are hurting their base with all the crap in the end zones and the wokeness and the rules and the referees. And it's just like, it's a gladiator sport. Let these guys hit each other and yell at each other and scream at each other. If you don't, I mean, put a version on Netflix and just let it be open mic, right? Say what
Oh, I
they
would
want to
love
say,
to
hear what
see
they want to
that.
hear,
Yeah,
which would
yeah,
be
I would
cool. We
love to
brought
see
that up
that.
last year too.
Yeah, that would be great.
But I think the NFL as a whole, it's just, I mean, with all the gambling and with all the fantasy stuff that goes on, I mean, who's to say that there is not a script now with the wokeness of the agenda? I mean, I don't know. I would love to think that it's not, but there's just too many anomalies that go on. Like, I brought this up, like, there's no way the Giants should have beat the defending Super Bowl champions as
Yeah.
bad as they did on Thursday night. That was ridiculous. There's no way that Atlanta should have really beaten the Bills, right? There was a lot of games this weekend that happened, but guess what? Guess who didn't take a fall? Those
Yeah, it was
Chiefs.
the Chiefs.
The
Yeah,
Chiefs,
yeah.
the Chiefs got away with what the Chiefs got away with, and it's like, I thought the Lions were going to be the new, like, little
Yeah.
favorite toy of the NFL, but no, they still whatever with the Chiefs. So, and can we talk about games on Monday night? Why are there 2 games on Monday
Why?
night?
But
That's
why is it
ridiculous.
one?
Give us our Sunday.
But why was one at 7 and one at 7:30? I get the whole 6:30 and 9 o'clock one. You could watch both. Now
Yeah.
you have to make a choice. It's
It's
it
ridiculous.
appeals to somebody in marketing for the NFL, and I'm sure that there's a dollar figure attached to it that makes it more beneficial for them to do that. But it doesn't make it not stupid.
I don't like it. I don't
It's
like it.
stupid. No,
I like
it's stupid to have to.
I like having another 4 or 5 games, or 5 or 6 games on 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
night.
and
You know what I
it
mean? Like,
just dilutes what you get to watch on Sunday, which is a good point. I don't know. I think you're right. I think they're out of touch. And when you say that they still haven't lost some of their fan base, they haven't lost a lot of the fan base at home, but they have lost some of the fan bases in the stadiums. I mean, some teams you'd be surprised who are still struggling to sell these stupid PSLs, and tickets, and some of the good teams and the more established ones can still sell them no matter what. So there is a disconnect there locally, but they've obviously focused on the international aspect way too much. I don't mind those international games. I love waking up at 9:30. I don't care for the West Coast, but if I ever got the chance to live there, that would be the biggest benefit for me. Is that I
yeah.
could roll out of bed, have a
Yeah,
beer, and
I
start
haven't
watching
I haven't
football
minded the early
every
morning
single
games.
Sunday.
It's
I
the
don't
2
mind
Monday
that.
night games that drives me nuts.
It's stupid when one doesn't start at 6:30 and the other one doesn't start at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. It's just dumb. They shouldn't be on at the same time. That was the one thing I had about that. The Bad Bunny thing, it's just the disconnect. And I don't know. It's another way that they're trying to appeal to a demographic that doesn't probably watch the games anyway. But it's a good way to showcase other foreign countries on the appeal of the NFL. So you know what they can do to them? They could rip them off like they rip off the regular people in the States. And now we can maybe rip off some of the people in Germany and Venezuela or whatever. Let's rip some other people off that don't have as much money as us by throwing them a game. And it's just another way of appeasing them and finding a way to rip somebody else off, like they do the local governments in the States that want these $1 billion cathedrals that they don't want to pay for but keep all the revenue. So it's just another way to do that. On that note, I've been around a little bit, so I can go back to a time when analysis was king in the NFL. Even without all the data you can find on your phone, there's something to be said about 3 guys, or even 3 guys and a girl or whatever, or 2 guys and a girl in a room
Or 2 guys, a girl at a pizza place.
talking about the game and strategy and performance. And what the hell happened where now we can't do anything without football, without what is it, Thursday night, the other night, I'm watching a game. Oh, somebody's singing. And then I don't mind the intro singing, but enough with the damn singing. I mean, why don't you stop looking for artists to distract us? And why don't you find some qualified analysts to talk about the game for that little window? You don't need to see some
Because
stupid song.
there's more singers than there are qualified analysts. That's why.
Well, that's probably true. But so, it's funny because so I'm watching Prime last Thursday night, and then some English broad, I guess, was singing. I never heard of her before at halftime. But I got to tell you, the song was catchy, but I didn't like it enough that I would not have rathered seeing a little bit more analysts analyzing of the game and everything, because it was a decent game to watch. We don't get enough of that of substance anymore. I like the Prime group. I wish we can get back to 2 or 3 people. I don't know why we need an audience, and I don't know why we need a color card. Yeah, you have to have a brown one. You have to have a white one. You have to have one with one that doesn't have a penis. And then you have to have somebody who's supposedly cool. And then you got to get an offensive lineman fat guy. And then that completes the circle. I don't want that. Just give me good analysts. You know who's great at providing good analysts? Watch a hockey game.
Yeah.
Dude.
Will Wilson, Ben Wilson, Wayne Wilson, Bill Wilson.
Donc on a Belson, Wilson, Bilson et
Wilson.
Belson, Wilson, Bilson et Wilson.
Et Rémi Nadeau.
Oui.
They got to fill up 2 periods of like 20 minutes. It's not a cameo win, and they don't have the money to and the appeal to attract artists to take up time. So you know what they have to do? They got to give you proper analysis and breakdown of the game. And all these guys are doing is running back and forth on ice skates. And there's only 2 guys, you know, and they got 1 girl downstairs more often than not. They all know what the hell they're talking about. And you know what? Before you know it, I got a chance to go number 1 or number 2, grab a beer and get in quality entertainment regarding the game before it starts back up again. The NFL wants to figure out what they need to get back to is that. I don't need it. I mean, I could see the show. I don't even have to see. You tell me that they're coming up with a new crew for a show, for a broadcast team, and I'm going to tell you, oh, let me guess. There's going to be a brown one. There's going to be a couple of white ones. One's going to have a vagina.
Diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Ron, I would be surprised if the affiliates were concerned about the lack of an old wooden ship, but nice try.
And, you know, and then one of them's going to be on the field and one of them's going to be the cool guy. It's like they've taken the analyst positions in the studio and they try to turn them into NSYNC or New Kids on the Block. That's what we're looking at now. And now they're throwing in an opening act with these stupid songs and shows. I think the name of the song that girl was singing, which I will say was quite catchy, was Where the Hell is My Husband? What kind of fucking name of a song is that? It was catchy. I would have preferred better analysis. I do like the Prime guys, but I would like to see the networks focus on addition by subtraction. And maybe we spread that out a little bit more, you know, and let's have more focus analysis. But anyway, I ramped it on about this, and this I'm really going to lean on you big time for your help with this in the enhanced YouTube version. Like and subscribe. But I'm saying it right now, and I don't care what these modern day wannabe Caleb Williams type, half effeminate men type people in the world think in this modern age. I don't want Botox in the NFL. I don't want to see it on the sideline. And I think Sean McVay should have his face blacked out. Take a look at Sean McVay's face. The guy probably has to sleep with his eyes open now. It's so stretched back from these goddamn shots. They should have a rule. No, I don't want to see it. I'm not saying every NFL coach should look like Wade Phillips, out of shape or whatever. Oh, you know, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is leave that feministic fluff off of the goddamn sidelines.
Your language is offensive.
How can I take you seriously when your eyebrows are in the middle of the back of your head? I can't take it. He is a distraction to look at. You know what he looks like? He looks like a short Polish Nicole Kidman.
Wow.
That's what he looks like. You look at her face. Throw her face up there on the screen. She's a freak show, and she's 6'2". She doesn't have to change anything. Just be tall, sweetheart, and don't get overweight. You'll do just fine. What the hell did she do to that freak show she's got going on in between her ears? It's a travesty. It shouldn't even be allowed. But she's in Hollywood. I get it. That's where shallowness goes to flourish. Beautiful. Don't want to see it on the NFL sidelines.
Wow.
I think he's a decent coach, and I get it. They're in LA now. It goes with LA. Stop it. Stop it. He needs to stop. Makes me sick. Anyway, I got 2 more quick.
I didn't really notice him recently, so I'm gonna take some close-up looks at it and see what we see and find what we find.
Yeah. Telling you, brother. Look, you'll be surprised. You'll see. I got an eye for that kind of thing. I'm a detail-oriented individual. All right, so I got a couple other things, and I know it's been a little bit, so I'm going to try to make this quick. One, and I watched the game this week, and it just kills me because I've always liked this guy. I thought he got a raw deal in Cleveland, and I was just hoping that the Steelers would show some shred of sack and bring him into the fold and not hold it against him that he came from the Browns. But I mean, is Baker Mayfield legitimate MVP candidate?
The white Jameis Winston has
The white Jam-
emerged.
I'm telling you, man, I watched this guy on Sunday and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish he was leading my team.
Hey, we've talked about this in past episodes. We both like Baker a lot. And yeah, as of right now, I believe that him and Cam Scatterboo should be MVP running. But no, Baker, I think, I mean, trying to sit here and think about it, but yeah, Baker deserves, I mean, at least top 2 players in the league right now, the way he's playing and who he's lost and how he's still playing that way, right? I mean, he's got this Tez Johnson guy that they picked up in the parking lot before the game started, and he scores a touchdown, and he thinks everybody's yelling MVP for him. He was like, man, I just got here. Why they cheering MVP for me? And they're like, bro, they're talking about Bake, man.
Yeah, you know, and what I like about Baker the most is, you know, there's a way to be MVP. There's different styles of QBs in this league. You know, we talked about Joe Burrow, and then there's I'm just better than everybody, and I have so many likes and followers, and so does my wife, Patrick Mahomes' way of doing things. And then there's Josh from Buffalo, guys that are a real man's quarterback, low key, you know, but focused, you know, and then there's Baker. There's just kind of a different mold, man. The guy blends in, and to see the way that he acts on the field, he's not looking for flags when somebody touches him. And dude, when this guy gets at it, he's not faking you out on running plays, trying to get a few extra inches and then running down. He's taking you on mano a mano. And he doesn't have the physical tools to do that and be successful all the time, but he's got a way of doing it. They got something going on there with him, and I like to see him be, not just because I like him, but because of the way he plays.
I like it. I like
it. You know, and obviously, you know, Bowles is a good coach. I don't know about a great coach, but a good coach. But he's got something there, and I really hope he can keep it going for the year. And I would love to see somebody like him win that.
Look at all the people that passed him over. Look at all the people that passed him over when it was, you know, Cleveland thought that they had their guy and they screwed him up. And Carolina thought they had the guy and they screwed him up. And it goes back to a theme on the YoMo show about loser organizations. And you look at what Cleveland's done to quarterbacks. You look at what Carolina's done to quarterbacks. And you look at what the Jets have done to quarterbacks. And the loser organizations, I don't know if it's the development. I don't know if it's the ownership. I don't know what it is, but some of these places, no matter who you get in there and what they do, they cannot succeed. Bill Belichick was the coach of the Browns. And they were awful.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the guy. I think it's the organization.
Absolutely. And he married himself to Cleveland. Not to mention, those were some of the best commercials. Remember the one with him in the stadium with the big ring of keys?
Yes. Fantastic commercials.
Those were the best commercials. I wish I'd like to see him marry himself to Tampa that way and get some of those commercials back, because he's very, very, he's got that, he's got maybe not as much as Peyton Manning, but he's got that quirkiness to him on camera that makes him entertaining when you watch him. I loved those, I think, what were they, insurance commercials? I forget what they were for.
I think they were insurance commercials. Yeah, I think so.
I remember the one with the keys, and I think Alice Cooper was the guy. He got was getting a package delivered there by accident. I don't know, but the whole lot of them were great. I got to look him up and refresh myself on him because I thought he was great.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Baker reaching for that first cup of coffee. Let's see if this can get his feet moving. Oh, he's putting it back on a hot plate. Must mean a Southern Cup is coming.
Morning, Bobby.
Morning, Baker.
Baker, the Browns have just traded for Deshaun Watson. Well, see you later.
There, and if they're taking the votes right now, if I had one after watching what I saw Sunday, I'm giving it to him. And there's other guys that I like in the league, but as far as production on the field and what the MVP should be, which is the impact on your team, how much better are you making your team on the field? And he's making them right now a lot better than they really are on paper, considering how many folks they've lost. So kudos to him and that offensive coordinator, because they got something going there. And I'd like to see them, make a decent run at it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but God knows it was sure good to watch, and it's fun to watch him. Lastly, and I'm going to throw this at you because I understand the league's need to follow the Rooney Rule and go through what they got to go through for coaches. But how about the stupid rule? Can they implement, you can't get one of these 32 jobs if you're stupid, or you can't do it. You just can't get one. Because I don't know if you got up early in the morning on Sunday and watched the last 3 minutes of the first half of that Jets game, and then watched the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and that was just blatant evidence that you can't do this job. I'm sorry. So either the coordinator or the head coach. So they have to come up with a way. And maybe the owners need to focus on this, or Goodell. He likes to overrule on everything. Can we find a way to filter out dumb head coaches? Because if you can't manage the clock and manage play calling at the end of a half or a game, you have no business of standing on the sideline running the show. That's your main focus. I don't get it, but I watched this and it was pathetic. It was an embarrassment to the league. You want to bring in mass appeal? Try filling these jobs with competent people. I like Terry Glenn. I thought he was a decent hire, but I'm not giving him that test. Because God knows, because if you had given it to him, he would have fucking failed it. It's terrible. And it happens too often. Matt Nagy should have never been a head coach in the NFL. Never should have been. I don't care how much success. The guy was obviously terrible. This guy Eberflus. They have to find a way to come up with a test. They love to do it with the kids before they draft them. They put them through the ringer, act and stuff. Why aren't they doing the same thing with these idiots that they're putting on the field to lead these men? They have to find out to come up with.
Yeah,
they have to come up with a combination of just basic competence. You want to call bad plays, call bad plays. I mean, that's here or there. I mean, it's part of the thing. But if you don't know how to call plays and you don't know how to manage the clock, you shouldn't be allowed to get one of those 32 jobs.
Hey, think about the Jets for a second. Who's been their best coach in the last generation?
Bulls.
Rex Ryan.
Yeah, I forgot. You know what? This was before he overdid it with his teeth, and he's always had a big personality. But yeah, you're right. And you know what? You know what a lot of people don't give him credit for? When they got to those championship games, there was one of those where they had to go through New England, and he outcoached Belichick, man. He out-game planned Belichick. Yeah. And he did it. He did it to my Steelers in Pittsburgh as well. So, but I'm not surprised at anybody that outcoaches Mike Tomlin. But I was surprised that he outcoached Bill Belichick. And it just, you're right. I had completely forgot about him. But yeah, I mean, they went to 1 or 2 championship games, maybe?
Yeah, they have.
Dude, he did it with Mark Sanchez.
With Mark Sanchez.
Yeah. Mark Sanchez, give me that parking spot or I'm going to stab you in the neck, Sanchez.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. But so obviously he's competent, but, of course, I don't know if he worked. He probably, he had to have worked for Harbaugh. So, he came from a good coach, and a good system. But I don't know, but they've got to find a way to fix this because that window of patience for coaches is smaller and smaller. If you're going to make those windows so small, then you better make sure you get competent people in there. And the Jets were embarrassed on national TV, not just here. That was an international embarrassment.
Around the world!
And you know what? His guys are on the field trying to keep it close. I mean, that team could have came out in the third quarter and been lost. Because when you don't know how to lead professional men, that's what they do. They tune you out.
He just smiled. When the 30 seconds ran out, he just smiled. And they walked off the field.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So I don't know, but they have to do something to fix this. And I'm not opposed to the Rooney Rule or whatever, but I'm opposed to the idiot rule. And you just can't be getting these. There's too few of these jobs. You know, it's like hiring me to give you architectural plans for a skyscraper. I just can't do it. I'm brown, you know, but that doesn't mean I could do it. You know, I'd like to do it. You know, I'm sure the pay is pretty good, but I can't do it. Nobody's giving me that job because I'm brown or whatever. Nobody's giving it to me. And I couldn't, I'd have to pass a test of some kind of architectural plans or something. Can't they come up with something like that for the NFL? What are these guys doing?
DEI.
That they're getting these, what are these guys doing that they're getting these jobs? I don't get it. But, so I guess we're going to sum it up. Stop at the Botox. Nobody cares about Bad Bunny. Stop the live music. Make Baker Boy MVP. And stop hiring stupid coaches. Bad ones is one thing. Yeah. Good ones are one thing.
Recap of the week and a recap of your last 30 minutes. Great recaps this week.
All right. So what you got for us for this week?
Let's end it with some predictions for next week.
Yep.
I get to play the coolest guy in the league. And since I'm in that game, I don't have an opinion. So congrats, Rob, on your win. Marcus and Aaron. Hey, I'm gonna give you a quote since you like your quotes. And I'm gonna give it to you right now because you're white, you're a man, and you can't jump. But the only way to prove that you're good at sports is to lose. So let's see if you can turn it around this week, beat the 3-time champion, and let's see if you can get over your COVID-19. I'm sure Kyle Murray will play this week, so he'll be back in the bench.
Gosh, I need him back, man. It's a for a guy who's
it's projected very close. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson should have a good day against the Eagles since they've got no secondary out now that they're all hurt. But I see you put Goddard back in there. I don't know if that's a great move, but hey, he's been hot lately.
The offense is kind of running through him a lot.
Aaron's
kind of running through Barkley and him.
Aaron took Rashid Rice out of suspension and in the starting lineup. So it's Lamar Jackson's out. Puka's out. James Cook is out. So if there's a time for you to beat him, this would be a good week. But I'm going to say, Marcus, I'm going to say you're going to take these losses to show everybody how good you are at fantasy, and you're going to make a run, and you're going to beat him this week. And the Hank plays flip-flops. If Hank didn't have all the buys, I think he'd have a chance, but unfortunately, he's got Derrick Henry on a bye, Khalil Shakur on a bye, and nothing really to replace them. So I think flip-flops goes on to 5-2. Sorry, Hank, down to 2-5. Jake plays the mad scientist. Is this the week that Jeff gets a win? I don't know. I think Jake's team's just good enough. Doesn't seem like there are any buys for these guys to worry about this week. It'll just come down to matchups and lineup set. I think both of them are dumb enough to screw up their lineups. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Jeff this week and say he pulls one out. He's got to pull one out. Or if you don't win this one, he better start writing some comedy sketches because he's gonna be the one. So speaking of, I discussed this with Aaron. You got to remember, it's not the worst record who has to do the stand-up. it is the person who loses or finishes last. So it comes down to the what's it called?
Consolation?
Consolation? Aren't those stars?
Yeah.
Constellations? Bracket.
I think it's
Whoever loses
ladder.
there. So Jeff still has a chance. Good matchup this week. Matchup of the week. I believe game day is going to be at one of their houses this week because Justin takes on Narin Kalikari, and I don't know. I think Ice pulls this one out. I think he does. He's our hope. Our hope and shining armor.
I'm rooting for Brown Boy, and we already know why.
And then Young Sheldon plays Barry, and I think we all know who's got that one. Although I will say, it looks like Barry has taken both of the Eagles wide receivers out and is only playing one now. Smart move.
Okay.
And he's got Brock Purdy back, maybe. So here we go. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next week.
All right.
Justin, hope.
Remember, Red, hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Yeah, come on, Brown Boy, do me a favor. Least you can do. Anyhow. All right, I guess that's it for us, right? All right, see you next week, Commish. Later.
Hey.
Later, idiots.
You hate me, don't you? No, I don't hate you.
He hates me.